Hey, scientists, grab those lab coats and goggles as we start to investigate environments and changes by completing an Explore Lab today. Let's get into it with our essential questions.
Now, let's talk about our essential question. Remember, essential questions in science and in different lessons can help us think about what we already know about a topic, and it helps us connect to new ideas that we're going to learn today to help us produce a new thought about the topic. Our essential questions will be focused on our different science topics. So look for keywords. In those keywords, the minute you see them and recognize them, I want you to think, what do I already know about this topic? Once you have that in your mind, you want to look at the question again to see what we're trying to answer today or what are we trying to answer about that topic. It's important to remember that an essential question is like a goal as well. By the end of our science lesson, you should confidently be able to answer the essential question. Let's go over our essential question for today.
Our essential questions for today are as follows. Listen to me first. What are the physical characteristics of an environment? Read that one with me. What are the physical characteristics of an environment? Let's look at the second one. This one's a little bit longer, so listen and follow along carefully. How do the physical characteristics of an environment support populations and communities of plants and animals in an ecosystem? Say that one with me. We'll go nice and slow. Ready? Let's go. How do the physical characteristics of an environment support populations and communities of plants and animals in an ecosystem? Nice job, scientists. Take a nice deep breath. And let's look at the last one. Listen to me as I read. How do environmental changes affect organisms within an ecosystem? Say this one with me, nice and loud and proud. Ready? Let's go. How do environmental changes affect organisms within an ecosystem? Nice job, scientists. Let's get into today's activities. Our first activity is called Move It. I want you to first just raise your hand if you have ever moved from one house to another house. I know I have. There's different reasons why we might need to move our houses, and that happens to animals too. Animals need to move at different times throughout the year to new homes, and sometimes they might come back to local areas, but they're always moving around. Today, for the beginning activity, you will each be given a particular animal, and I'll introduce you to those in a minute. You'll be in groups. You will have a moment to find some details about each of these organisms. Your job is to describe why those organisms might need to move. You might want to think about seasonal changes, fast local environment changes, or any other change that might happen in these animals' environment. You'll be able to use the internet or maybe some local library books that you have on these animals to help you make your decisions and answer the following questions. Let's go over the animals that you will be put into groups for, and then I'll be sure to post the questions on the board so you have an idea of what you need to describe for each animal. For this first activity, you're going to need to be split into 5 groups. Here are the 5 different animals that you could be researching with your group. Each group will get one animal to research, either the spotted sandpiper bird, the American alligator, the timber wolf, the bluefin tuna, or the caribou. Pause the video now and split yourselves up into 5 groups, assigning each group one of these animals. Now that each group has an animal assigned to them, here's the task that you are up to. Each group must answer the questions that you will see on the next screen. You are going to share these questions with your classmates. Once you see the questions, assign different group members to answer one of each of the questions, and then as a group, when you come together to share, you can decide who will be your spokesperson. You will have 3 minutes to research information on the questions after you see them. After you have collected your research information and answered the 3 questions, you will share out why these animals move with your classmates. Let's get into what those questions are. Like explained before, here are the questions you're going to look at. You need to look at why your organism might need to move. So think about and research what seasonal changes affect them, what fast local environmental changes affect them, and you might come across more changes in your organism's environment that affect why they might need to move. Include these in your answers that you will share with your classmates. Pause the video now, complete this activity, and come back when you're ready for me to explain your full group Explore Lab. I'll see you guys in a minute. The activity we will be doing today is called Our Environments, and this is going to happen in 2 parts. For the first part, you guys are going to go outside and observe 2 different locations. As you are recording your observations, your teacher will explain the specifics that you are looking for, but the overall idea is we will be exploring different living and non-living things today. You'll have your own exploration outside, and then you'll come back and I'll explain a game that you guys are going to get to play. For this first part, listen to your teacher as they explain to you how your outside journey is going to go. Make sure to take close observations and detailed notes in your student journals to carry over that information for later on. I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, scientists, now that you're back, I'm going to explain how you're going to play the game for this activity. I'll put up the 5 steps on the board for you to review if you ever get confused. It's pretty simple though. Listen to me as I describe it. To begin the game, you're going to separate the cards by events and armadillos. You'll lay 10 armadillo cards out in the middle of each of your groups. Then you'll place the event cards in a drawn pile face down and the remaining armadillo cards in a pile off to the side. That's important to set up first. The second step says you're going to roll a dice to determine who goes first. Whoever rolls the highest on the dice goes first. If 2 people roll the same highest number, they will roll again to break the tie. The third step is each player will draw 1 event card on his or her turn and read the event out loud. You'll follow the instructions on the card to complete the event that happened. All of the players will record the results on their student journals for each player's turn. So even if you are not the one who draws the card to see what happens to the armadillo, it's still your job to write down in your student journal what happens to them during every person's turn. So you'll be writing every time somebody pulls a card. And the 5th and final step. After all players have had turns and recorded results, the players discuss the outcome and write their conclusions. As you go through this activity, your armadillos will go through different events that are going to change how they survive or how they move around in their environments. Pay close attention to what the cards say and figure out how that affects the population of your armadillos. After you finish this activity, make sure to record those results in your student journals as those will be collected for your teacher to review further. Good luck, scientists. Have fun seeing what path your armadillos take, and I'll see you guys soon.